Hey guys, Ryan here. In this video I'm going to start going into the basics of the game. Now what you're looking at right now is the state of the game right after the tutorial is completed. So that takes about 5 minutes. I did that in the last video, but I didn't walk through it because it's something that the game will take you through. So you get a couple of things flashing at you which are, have notifications. So this icon here is your emails. You can read those. Now when you first start, you've got a couple down here, these pre-registration rewards. This was something they did to kind of encourage players to play the game. It's certainly worth redeeming those, but I'll explain why afterwards, otherwise we're going to start getting ahead of ourselves. And the top icon here is the shop. This is always going to flash at you. This is where you can spend your real money. So as I said, I'm not going to buy anything here, though I do recommend this guy, the 3-star Plains Akecheta. I don't know how you pronounce that. The stars, the hosts, that's something I'm going to start talking about, and this guy is like less than £1. I'm in the UK, by the way, if you can't tell by my accent, and there's loads of other stuff you can spend. You know, you can spend lots and lots and lots of money if you want to. So as I said in the previous episode, I'm not going to be spending on this money on this game. I'm going to keep it free to play so you can see what you can do in that context. So one thing I'm just going to quickly show you is these icons over on the right. The top one is your roster. You can see the hosts, which I'll talk about in a moment, and your guests. Again, I'll go over those. This is locations. So the game plays currently in one of 5 locations. You start off in this location called Sweetwater, and this ties in with a TV show. The guests arrive in this place called Sweetwater. It's this Wild West town, and you've got buildings here. You've got up to 6 buildings. We currently have 2 unlocked. Other locations will unlock as you play. One thing to note is that you will unlock these locations much sooner than you're likely to have the hosts to be able to work with them. So to start with, just kind of concentrate on this Sweetwater. Now over here, this is quite an important tab. This is where you've got 3 types of tasks where you can earn rewards. So the first one that's highlighted here is auto tasks. This is basically a case of click a button and something happens. We've got a few of these which can be done every 6 hours. I'm struggling to scroll here. I don't know what's going on with my mouse. But anyway, so if we start the first one, 2 minutes, that will probably finish while I'm still playing through the video. Then we have daily tasks. Oh, here we go. Here comes Teresa to tell me. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, these are things which we want to do each day. And it tells you here what the rewards are. So you get coins and you get XP. XP here is your player XP. So we can see at the top I'm level 3. And you need to advance your player level to upgrade your control room, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. And then we have, if you complete everything for the day, you get a host code, which I'll explain in a moment, and some gems. The gems are the premium currency of this game. That's what you're going to use to buy the good stuff in the game. Coins are just used for basically everything you do. So objectives are kind of like quests. They're specific kind of storyline type things, and each one has got a series of specific things. I'm just going to pause this video for a moment because I'm having trouble scrolling. Oh, okay, I see what I'm doing there. I'm trying to use it like a PC instead of like a tablet. I need to drag it. Sorry about that. So you can see what the reward is going to be. Now this is a host code. You always want to go for host codes and you always want to go for gems. Generally speaking, you'll complete these as you play the game naturally. So I don't pay a whole lot of attention, but there are some special ones. But I'm not going to get into all of those now. Okay, the last icon down here, this is where you construct new rooms. We'll worry about that in a moment. Okay, so that's all the various icons. So the game is split into 2 parts. We have this which is above ground. This is the Westworld Park. This is where your guests come to interact with your hosts, and we'll go over this interaction. Now, if we scroll up, this is Delos. This is underground. This is where you control what's going on in the park, and a lot of this is based around your hosts. So as I explained last time, the hosts are used to interact with your guests and make them happy. Interacting with guests gives you rewards, and that's what this whole game is based on. So in here you'll be able to manufacture hosts, you can upgrade them, you can diagnose them, you can analyze them. If they die, you can repair them, you can equip various things with them later on. So at the start of the game, we have 2 rooms which are unlocked. This is your control room. Now the control room is a bit like if you've ever played one of those city builder type games where you've got like a castle and sawmills and blah blah. This is like your castle. You have to upgrade the control room to be able to unlock everything else in the game. So other rooms here get unlocked. This is where you unlock these other locations, and it's also where you unlock the individual buildings within the locations. And I mentioned earlier that as you level up, that's what allows you to upgrade your control room. So we can see here in the bottom right hand corner, we've got an information button here, and it's got a red up arrow which says basically you're able to upgrade it if you want to. Every time you do that, you have various things which are going to unlock. Let me get rid of that. And it'll tell you here how much it will cost. Now to start with, you don't have very much money. I'm going to leave that for now because that will start unlocking a bunch of stuff which I want to talk about in later videos. Don't feel like you're in a rush to unlock because this is always going to be available. And if you try and unlock too quickly, you'll get overwhelmed by a bunch of things. To start with, we just want to start doing some basic interactions. So let me start talking about these interactions and these hosts. We've got 2 buildings here, the Mariposa Saloon and the bank. We start with the Mariposa. We're going to double click to go in here. The 3 icons at the bottom are guests who are waiting to be serviced. Now, what we've got, if we click on that, we can get a little bit more information. This is the role, and what that means is it's the role which the guest is looking for. Now, when you first start the game, all of the interactions in the Mariposa are looking for a gambler role. Over on the left hand side, these are the hosts which are available which can fill that role, and we see we've got 2 here. Teddy is the one we got as a reward for working through the tutorial. Now if we have a look, he is a 3-star host, which is significantly more powerful than Carmen, who is only a 1-star host. Back in this interaction screen here, we've got a number. The number on the right hand side is kind of an interaction rating of what the guest needs. The guest needs 12.18 to sort of satisfy her fully. Now Teddy, because he's a 3-star, he's very powerful, so he can satisfy her in this gambler role. Sorry, I keep saying that, it sounds terrible, but yeah, he can do the gambling role very well, so he will perform it much better than Carmen will. Carmen is actually very slightly lower at 12.0, and so she won't do as well. But what I'm going to do is we've got 3 guests here and we've got 2 roles. So let's pick Teddy, start the interaction, and then we're going to come over to, I'm going to pick this guy, and I will tell you why. I'll tell you why now actually. Every guest wears a hat. If you've watched the show, you'll know what this is. You've got a white hat, which is generally good people, a black hat, which is kind of more evilly aligned, the brown hat is neutral. Every host also has a hat. They don't wear it on their head. It's shown in this little icon here. Over at the top, we can see where the hats will match. If they match, the reward just goes that little bit better. So if Carmen interacts with this David Lewis, the hats are going to match. This is glowing up here. But if we select this person, you see that's all in red, it doesn't match. So this one's better. So I'm going to click Start Interaction on there. Now we've got a third one, and we don't have the hosts for it yet. However, if we come back down into Delos, we have another room unlocked here. This is your manufacturing room. This is where you create the hosts. I click the button to go in here, and we have a few which were given to us by the game, by running through the tutorial. So we can see we've got another gambler host here. So to manufacture, you need to have one of these, what's called a host code. It's like programming computer code kind of thing, and there's a cost. It's 100 coins. I've got 479, which is fine, and we get rewards for doing the interaction. So I'm going to manufacture her, and you can skip this, but I'll just show it for the first time. So it shows you what it's manufactured here. It's Carmen again, so you'll notice the same kind of character type host is always identical. The name is always Carmen. She starts off with a 1 star, and she starts off with a single role, which is a bandit. Now you can rank up your hosts to have more stars through the course of the game, which is a long and complicated process, which I'll talk about in another video. One thing you cannot do is add new roles. Carmen will only ever be a gambler. She cannot ever do anything else, even if she's 5 star. So we're going to click OK over there. Right, I'm going to leave that there, and we'll come back to the Mariposa. You see there, we've got the ticks. This means they are complete. It will show you now how well did the interaction go. So the hats didn't match. He was a brown hat and she was a black, but if you recall, his interaction rating was much higher than hers because he's 3 star, and she's 96% happy, which is very good. So these are the rewards we get. The XP, this goes to Teddy. He levels up. He is getting this 38 XP. The coins we get, and with these 2 lots of coins here, you get extra if she's happy. So we collect that. Oh, this is something you'll see that pops up. There's quite a lot of things which pop up, which are just, I think they're just little kind of a little hat tip to the TV show. I haven't yet found any real use for them in game, so I'm just gonna click through those. All right, this guy's finished. Now notice here, this isn't quite as good. This is where we're talking about the affinities with the hats. Yes. So, because we matched the hat, we've got an extra reward, a few more coins. And if you do that on a consistent basis, it's quite good. So Carmen here has got 35 XP. The rewards aren't as high as Teddy's because he was only satisfied to 69%, but it's still good. Okay, now these icons over here at the bottom, if they are, the little hat with the 3 dots means the guest is sitting there waiting to be interacted with. And if I just click back out again, the little door icon means they're on their way. So we've got 2 here. Now, one thing to notice, Teddy is now 3.01. Sorry, they start off on 3.01. But notice that his little blue ring around here has gone up, and so has Carmen. They have started to level up. Now, we don't have anyone to do a black hat. We've got 2 brown hats and 1 white. So I'm just going to put Teddy on here and carry on. And here we have a white hat. So we've got 2 different Carmens now, but they're 2 different hats. They're both the same in their interaction rating. They're both 12, but I'll use this Carmen here with the white hat and click Start Interaction. So now I've got another one that's on their way, and I have a 3rd Carmen. So here the hats don't match, but it doesn't matter. If this is green, you'll get 3 colours here. Green means great, good to go. Orange means it's okay, you're not going to get the best rewards, but nothing terrible is going to happen. If it's red, what will happen is the guest will shoot the host and kill them, and you'll have to repair them. And at the moment, at this stage of the game, we can't repair. So click Start Interaction. So I'm going through this very slowly for the purposes of the video, but obviously this is something that you can grind through very quickly. If they're less than a minute, you can click here on the time and you can speed it up without spending any gems. So also, if you have a look there, we're completing some of those objectives as well. Now notice here it says Teddy has leveled up. He's now 3.02. I'm not going to go into the leveling up now because it's quite a complicated thing, but just note that every time your host performs a successful interaction, which is anything where they don't get killed, they gain experience. And that experience comes in useful later on when we want to try and make them more powerful. Now what we're doing here, this interacting with guests, this is the bread and butter of the game. I'm going to come over to the bank now and see what we can do here. We've got a different role. So this is a purple one, which is a different class of roles. The roles falls into classes and the role itself. If they match the colour, so this one here that Teddy has is the jailbird role, and what the guest wants is a bandit role. However, because they're the same class, I think it's called villainy or something, Teddy can still do it if the numbers are good. Now in this case, because he's a 3-star, yeah, he can go ahead and do this fine. But in this case, we've also got Emmett here. He is the new host we manufactured. Now that's orange. It will still be okay, and the hats match. So I'm going to actually use Emmett here because we've got another guy. Oh, they're both black hat. So we can use Teddy for this one as well. So what you're doing here, you're going through the buildings, you're clicking on the hosts, and we're just going through. So see Carmen, this Carmen is now 1.02 and this one is 1.03. Start the interaction. You can see this can go quite quickly and it can be a little bit of a grind. And this is the bread and butter of the game. We don't have any more hosts now. So we've got no one left to interact with Hazel Harris. So we come back to the manufacturing. I had some more. We can make another gambler and we can make another bandit. And then we can do... So, see, we have more money now. We've got 800 coins. So let's go ahead and make another Carmen. So we come back here. What hat is she? She's white. The hat's created at random. Now, no, nothing bad happens if you don't match them. You just get a bonus if you do. That's all. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I need to go through in this video because it's already quite long. In the next video, we'll unlock something else and talk about another new feature. But for now, you want to start off just doing these interactions, which will build up your coins and the experience, and it starts to level up your guests. As I said at the beginning, don't be in a hurry to unlock. You know, get a feel for this, go through these 2 buildings, run the interactions through a few times, and then we can come through to unlocking the next thing. Oh, before I go though, I will just have a look at what objectives we did. So this was the auto task, which I completed. 2 minutes. I did that. I could have done a few more. So I'll carry on playing this for a while off camera. So let's do the next one. That's 4 minutes. Over on the daily task tab, I have manufactured 3 hosts. We collect that. Great. Gives me a bunch of coins there. And over to the objectives then. We saw these ones popping up. Complete 2 interactions with guests. So this is giving me another code here, which is great. And it's, ooh, player level up. So I'm now level 4 and I get 5 gems. I'll talk about gems in another video. Okay, so here is another kind of game interaction. This is Lee. He's the guy that does the narrative, and honestly I find these kind of things a little bit annoying because if I want to know the story, I'll watch the show. As far as I'm aware, they do not add anything to the game. Right, what else has been completed? Here we go. The newcomers. Complete 3 interactions with guests. Now, I didn't collect these until the end because I was recording the video, but you should click on them straight away because very often when you complete one objective, it unlocks the next one. Okay, so they're talking here. Yeah, nothing particularly important. Alright. I will end the video there before we get up to 20 minutes. Thanks very much for watching.